All right, good morning. It's a new week, and I have yet to finish my city book for Toronto, but we're on my way to my mom's. I got my breakfast with me. I got some blackberry toast that I wrapped up, and I brought the rest of my watermelon. So we're gonna eat that on the way to my mom's since it's 30 miles away. And we're gonna be listening to and watch. Also brought my fork for my watermelon. So let's get started here today. New day. It is now Monday night. I did finish Toronto's book yesterday evening on the way to my mom's. I read the Next Mrs. Parrish as a NetGalley arc. 4.5 stars. Love it. Video is going up next Thursday with a full review of it for a NetGalley spotlight. And then, as predicted, I just had a feeling that the next prompt was going to drop here on Monday. I was expecting it to drop when I was at work, and a video did drop while I was at work. It was a sabotage video, which, by the way, yesterday a detour video dropped, which is now closed because Toronto is closed. My detour post, so that y'all can see it here too. And we are now on our way to Buenos Aires. So I picked up a book here for 2 point of views, very specifically 2 point of views. I had pulled off books and I'm like Googling and I was like, this is 3, this is 3, this is 5. And I'm like, I need 2, guys. But Google says that The Neighbor's Secret has 2 point of views, and this is on my Book of the Month backlist and from September of 2021. So clearly we need to get into it. I did start it here tonight while I was finishing up my sprints. We are a good solid 20% through the book. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of bored. Like, it started out really good. Like, the little introduction here was, like, really good. Like, I think it was murder. You know, but we have not gotten to any murder things now. We're just, like, chilling at a suburban housewives. I guess they're not all housewives. Book club. And I'm like, wow, Suburban Soccer Moms Book Club sounds so exciting. We are on our way back from my brother's baseball games. I was at my mom's after the games to like wind down, and I took a nap because my brother's first baseball game started at 8 a.m. and his last one ended at 3:45 p.m. We were outside all day in the baseball diamond that they put in the middle of a wheat field, because only where I live would they do that. Baseball field in the middle of a wheat field. You know, perfect. Why not? You know, makes perfect sense. But we have finished our Buenos Aires pit stop while I was at the game today, because I brought my iPad and I brought my Kindle. So I originally started The Neighbor's Secret for Buenos Aires because when I Googled it, it said there was 2 point of views. Then I was reading it, it totally had more than 2 point of views by the time I had 30% in, and I really am not vibing with it. But I'm stubborn and I don't DNF, so I will finish it for a sightseeing prompt. I know I will. And I switched over to Neon Gods by Katee Roberts so that I could, you know, get that done. And I like read 55% of the book today at the baseball games, and then I picked up my Kindle and I read the rest of Zodiac Academy. I'm just gonna put this little blurb. I'm not counting Zodiac Academy for anything for Amazing Readathon because I did read more than 50% of it in May. I just hadn't finished it. I like hadn't finished the last 20% of it. So I finished the last 20% of that book at the baseball game. It's off my shelf. We're not counting that in our grand total for Amazing Readathon. So Neon Gods is book number 2, and 4.5 stars. I debated it for a minute. 4.5 stars. My biggest issue is I would like more explanation on how the God thing works and how the 13 thing works. Like, I want more background on that, because I'm curious. Like, they get picked, and I would like to know, because, you know, in all the other Hades Persephone retellings I've read, you know, they're like gods who either are hiding from the mortals yet and masquerading amongst the mortals, or the mortals know about them and worship them. So I'm kind of curious as to how they get picked, and the way it's worded so far of what I've gotten is that it is like Alexandra Bracken's lore book. You know, it has the face of Medusa on it. Really pretty white cover. That book broke me enough that I went and bought a physical copy afterwards, because I was like, I need to read this book again to break me again, which I have not done since, but that book broke me. And I kind of get the sense that, like, the gods are chosen almost in a similar fashion, maybe? but I'm not gonna like say too much because I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't read either of the books. So that's what it reminded me of. But I settled on 4.5 stars for Neon Gods. Really solid book. I've had some really solid books this month so far. Even I'm saying this as I've completed 3 as of what I've told you guys about, including Zodiac Academy and that, which have all been 4 or above so far. And I am doing really good. So Berlin has already been dropped as our 3rd prompt, and I am currently in the middle of my Berlin book, which is a movement in the title. And I have picked up Walking Red Flag. Ironically, I picked it up before the prompt was released on Friday because I needed another audiobook to listen to on my way to work because I worked in the main office like an hour away on Friday, and I finished my other audiobook. So I was like, I'll just pick this one up because it has unlimited copies on Libby, so I know I can get through it, and it would be short, and well, short, it was like 9-ish hours on audio. I was like, I'll be able to finish it pretty quickly, and I'll submit it for sightseeing. But you know what? It works for the prompts, and I had only listened to 10% of it at that point, so like, it's totally going to be my Berlin prompt, and my goal is to finish that here tonight. But let's go on to a book that I will be submitting for sightseeing, which is our book number 3 for this month, which is End of Watch by Stephen King. I started this one on the 1st. It's my Stephen King of the Month book. And if you guys don't know, I am in a Discord server called Bookish Reality. It's just like a general book club. I've been in it since 2020, I want to say. And there's a group of us on there who have met and discussed Stephen King pretty extensively, and back in 2023 we decided to take on the venture to read a Stephen King book a month. We are now on year 2 of this, and I have this month, for the past like 3 months, we've actually been reading the Mr. Mercedes trilogy, and this month was the last book in that trilogy, called End of Watch. I'm giving it a solid 4. It definitely is a little bit different than the first 2 books in the series. It's a little bit darker, and it definitely has more of horror elements than the other books, and it also does have supernatural elements, which I'm okay with the supernatural elements. If you read enough Stephen King, he has a lot of horror, fantasy, supernatural type stuff happening in his books. But this book marks the 20th King book I've read. So we are making great progress. I will be taking a little bit of break from the Stephen King reading group for 2 months. I do know that, and I've already told them, like, hey, I'm not going to be participating those 2 months. Not because of, I have stuff going on in those months, which realistically I actually do have stuff going on during those months. But I've already read the books, and I have little desire to reread them. I could totally reread the 1 and be okay with it, but it is very heavy and dark. It has a lot of trigger warnings, which it's The Outsider, so and I already have a lot that's going to be going on that month. That month is going to be a hard month for me in general, with some personal things, and like I already know I'm not going to have the mental capacity to reread that book at that time, and I've read the book once already, so I have no desire to reread it. And then book 2 in this series, because it's a trilogy, is If It Bleeds, and I did not like If It Bleeds, and I have no desire to ever reread that book again in my life. Like, that was a hard miss on a King book for me. But the last one is Holly, which is one of his most recent releases, so I told him I will pick it back up when you guys get to Holly. But that's not going to start until Holly is our November book, we decided. So I will be taking a break in September and October from King books with the group. I can guarantee I will probably still read a King book because I am very determined to read this man's entire backlist. So I even have another King book on my pile of possibilities for this month. So if I need a short little book, which I will probably try to fit it into a sightseeing prompt here, but that is the goal there. But that's all I have for now. Oh, did I give you guys a rating? End of Watch was 4 stars. I don't know if I said that. I don't know. But yes, End of Watch watched was 4 stars. We are headed home. It is like 8:45, so I have sprint start at 10:30. So I am gonna go home and wash all the sunscreen off me, and like my hair feels kind of gross from being outside all day, and there's probably pollen in it, and I'm allergic to like all the pollen. Great living in the middle of the farms, that you're allergic to like everything, but it's fine. So we are going to do that. I'm going to get ready for my sprints tonight, and the goal is to finish my Berlin book before sprints start so that I can just do some sightseeing prompts as long as the next prompt hasn't dropped yet. Alright, we have finished book number 4, and here I did finish Walking Red Flag for Movement in the Title for our Berlin prompt. So I have submitted it, and I then went and submitted my sightseeing book that I mentioned earlier and have watched, so that I'm all caught up on my submissions. And Walking Red Flag is 5 stars, my first 5-star of the month. That being said, I haven't had a below a 4 so far this month, so like our reading is going strong. And I loved Walking Red Flag, obviously, because I gave it 5 stars, but I loved the first one in the series, which was the X-Files, which I read maybe a month or 2 ago now. And I love that this is a continuation, and like a lot of romance series, it is a new couple that is related to the couples from the previous books. So we gotta follow Gabby as she falls for hot Dr. Vic. So I really enjoyed it. I really did love it. It was a quick, easy read. It also has a very bright color, so it fits some of the other Readathon prompts, because I am also doing Clear Your Shit this month, which they host their miniature Readathon in June, and their bigger ones November through December. And it fit perfectly in there for recommended, since it was recommended to me to read this series to begin with, so I'm saying it counts. And then we are going to be moving on to Heir of Sun and Moon on my Kindle, and I have The Neighbor's Secret here to finish up. I am going to be focusing on The Neighbor's Secret until the next prompt drops, because I have a feeling I can get this somewhere into a sightseeing prompt, and I am a little bit further in this one than I am of Heir of Sun and Moon, and this one is also shorter, but I doubt I will get any of it finished tonight, considering Sunday officially starts in 30 minutes. But we are off to a very strong start, and I am very surprised at myself for how well I've been able to keep up. I mean, I was a little bit behind because I did just spend my Buenos Aires prompt today. I just finished the book this morning, but like, we are making great and excellent progress so far, and I'm really proud of myself for how much progress I've been making. But we shall see where next week takes us. I'm getting the feeling that a prompt is going to drop either Sunday afternoon / evening or overnight. Monday is the latest I'm gonna see a prompt dropping. You feel me?